Welcome to the Golden Feather. Grab a pint, a plate, and take your seats. Your hosts Virtek and ChibiBree are back from their latest adventures.
Alright, let's try this again. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Golden Feather. Today we have Reckless with us.
Hello.
And we are going very reckless into this podcast.
Oh yeah.
We have testing. We have a new MMO trailer that came out. I don't know if you guys seen it. I haven't seen it yet. I had finals. So also the testing that happened on the 20th. That was kind of exciting. I'm looking forward to when they're gonna have it up again, because I was hoping, like, I only got to play for about an hour, so I was hoping that they'd have more chances to play.
I was too, honestly. It went very well, so I thought they would, put the servers back up for, like today or tomorrow.
Yeah, like, just come on, Ashes. We've been waiting.
Seriously,
An addiction by trickle. It's crazy.
It's rude. It's very rude. You shouldn't trickle. You should just pour. Just dump the whole thing.
Cup. Yeah, just dump it.
And then let's see. As far as that, we also have a new photo for the fan art Friday that was given to us from Ashes. And just a lot of really cool and nifty stuff. So first off, let's talk about the testing, because that's the thing that happened most recently. I only got to play for an hour and I died really fast, so I didn't really test a whole lot, but I got to watch a lot of other people play. Right off the bat, it just, I don't know, feels smoother. The one tiny, quick match I got in. What about you guys?
Oh man, I got to do a lot of testing. I'm happy to say. And before I get started, I really want to tip my hat to the engineers that worked really, really hard to get that back end done. And I give you guys a round of applause, because it was absolutely fabulous to me. Compared to the last time we got to test back in December, and you take that and compare it to today, and it's just two different worlds. You guys really did your job. You did a great job. And again, hats off to you guys.
Yeah,
yes,
definitely.
yes, indeed, and the art team as well. The animations were smoother. The views were a lot more crisp. And even on I have an old machine. My machine's like 10 years old or something stupid. Not that old, but it feels like it sometimes. So just the fact that it was able to run everything and it looked better, I was very happy. The servers were good. There were other people that were reporting like freezes and drops and stuff. I personally didn't experience any of those. I gotta say the cloud work and just the launching into the game was actually a nice, pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I agree.
That looked really nice, really nice. It was really good effect.
As you said, the little animals in game, I don't know where, I ended up somewhere near the ocean, and it was really pretty there, but oh wow, I'm really picking up on you. But basically, okay, no offense, I was just curious, but I tried attacking the animals and it didn't do anything, and I was like, okay, that's good to know. Does that count as damage? Does it not count as damage? But it was kind of cool to get back in and destroy things for the little time that I had alive in the game. I definitely tried to do the super jump, but I couldn't get the bird to spawn. I was reading chat on how to do it, and I was just like, I don't know how to do this. So it just
press B.
Yeah, but I was pushing it. It was like, am I not pushing it? Is there something wrong? I don't know. So maybe I was pushing V and not B. I don't know. But I died really short after that. So I didn't really get a chance to second test it. And then it was taking really long to get into the next match just because I died so quickly. So for me, I was just like, okay, well, I have finals to go work on, and scurried away. I know, I'm sorry. I was so curious, because I don't know, does it give me XP? Does it not? Do they react? I don't know. I like that kind of, I guess, inclusion in the game,
Yeah. See, I ran around, I broke a lot of stuff. broke a lot of stuff. It was fun. But yeah, I liked the addition of the little creatures. I actually went down and played on the beach for a while. Surprisingly ran into somebody else playing on the beach, and yeah, I won a fight.
Nice.
I'm so terrible at the BR fighting and the BR PvP. It's kind of hilarious, but yeah, I got a couple kills that time around. And then of course Alpha Soul came up, snuck up right behind me because I was running on the edge of the storm. He came out of the storm and just stabbed me right in the back of the head.
Oh no! Oh
So,
no!
Oh no. But yeah, finals to come first. Also, by the way, Ash is a creation. Welcome to the stream, and welcome everybody else to the stream as well. Yeah, no, I tried, like when I did the super jump, I was trying to super jump out of the red, but then like as soon as I landed, because it's still like it didn't kill me, which was actually surprising. I was considering the fact that if I super jump without the bird, that it would kill me because I'm so high up in the air. I mean, somebody fell out of a tree and almost died, like during a past test, you know.
Yeah, and like a bit of the feedback that I ended up providing on the forums and whatnot was like I couldn't reassign my key for the horse because apparently maybe in previous versions or something I set I guess it was the H key for the horse. I set it to like swap hotbars or something, and when I removed that, I couldn't rebind the horse. So I kept picking up a horse every single match, and I couldn't ride it.
Oh no.
It made me sad. I wanted to test the horse mechanics and see how it was riding around now, how it felt.
Yeah.
You know, that's one thing that I didn't get to test in the BR. I spent most of my time looking for that the sandal shrine. So, and then anytime I came across somebody trying to interrupt that, you know, I had to do my PvP thing and you know, get some kills. And then kind of touching bases on the gliding thing. I actually did run into a little bit of issue. You reminded me, ChibiBree. I did the super jump and I did try to press B after I took on the 3-man and won, but then the storm came in on me and I was trying to get over this mountain and you're right. What you had to do was you had to go to defaults. You had to default all your keybinds and then re-keybind everything to the way you wanted it. And then
Ash has just mentioned that was a bug that they're aware of and is 100% fixed now. So
yeah, it was a small bug. I mean, nothing major. It was a really small bug, but I think we enjoyed it. You know, for me, it was enjoyable. It was like, oh, here's a little bug, and it was fun to find that bug. You know, and it was kind of like, oh, look, other people found it, and it was, you know, kind of ways to touch bases with the Ashes of Creation community within the Discord. So
definitely.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, that's something for some reason I didn't think of doing. I don't know why. I probably should have just tried that first, but I was having more fun checking out just the environment and just how the changes to the UI were actually really nice. I think I'd like to see a little bit more meat to the UI, if that makes sense, when it goes to like MMO. For right now, for what it is, I think it's perfect.
I actually liked it. It was a good improvement from the last time. Personally, like when the whole experience of opening the game, I think maybe next time I'll record that because I should be able to stream next time now that school's not doing like the midterm thing and I'm a little ahead. But the whole experience of like opening the game for the first time, seeing the graphics and all that, it was really nice. It was a big change from the first set of rounds that we did, and it felt, like, not trying to sound rude in any way, but it felt more like a game than last time did.
No, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be completely honest. Intrepid had me a little worried. I was a little worried, and then when we did this recent testing, I mean, my joy, my enthusiasm, everything just completely came back. I was like, oh my goodness, this is real, you know. And a lot of people was upset about Intrepid, you know, going through Steam, and for me it was exciting. It was a great move. It was a great business decision by Steven. And I say that because, again, as stated, it touched a large player base. You know, Steam, pretty much everybody has Steam as a launcher on their computer if they play video games on PC, you know? You're touching so many people by going through Steam, and I think it was a smart move, and it was serious for me at that point when Steven came out and said, hey, we're going through Steam on this. For me, that was like, yo, this is real. This is serious. This game is coming out. It's a real thing at that point for me, you know. And I may not be as experienced when it comes to, you know, these business decisions with video games, but like I said, I mean, as a consumer, that was awesome for me to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, it definitely gets a lot more crowd exposure. I can honestly say, as long as they don't go like Epic exclusive, we'll be good.
Right.
As long as they don't go Epic exclusive.
Yeah, I agree. Z has a question for us, actually. Z was wondering, do you like the old or new minimap better?
New. I mean, I liked the grid function on the old one specifically for squad purposes, but I mean, I didn't get a chance to play in any squad content, so I only had I think like a 2-hour window or hour and a half window ish to test, so I didn't really get a chance to get in there for that. But at least in the solo, I didn't see the quadrant set up with like the A1 and such like that.
Yeah.
But the appearance of it, I actually really like how the new one is. It looks a little bit more, I don't know, vibrant, I guess. The old one was just kind of like splattered colors on there, and it was there to see, but it wasn't great.
Okay. I can understand that one. For me, opening up the map itself, it was kind of nice to see like the little like names of the areas. I thought that was a cute little touch. But
that was awesome.
I feel like the mini map for me, I'm sorry, I personally didn't notice a difference, but that's also because most of my time is spent like in either the map or the regular area, like not looking at the mini map. But the actual map, I did notice a difference.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that Z mentioned that I guess kind of bothers me a little bit is the movement while the map is open. I mean, I'm sure there's seriously now, this is like super pre-alpha testing. You may as well look at it as. So I mean, there's plenty of features probably on the drawing board that aren't in there, but currently at the moment, I was like, let me go ahead and go this way. Let me look at the map and see. Oh, look, I stopped. Okay, so let me start moving again. And I'm a lover of hit auto run and go that direction, and then open the map and turn myself to adjust to whatever's on the map, and then drop the map down to see where I'm going. Yeah,
honestly, I think in an MMO, that's a bug that you wouldn't really notice. I mean, me personally, in an MMO, I stop. I open up the map, check it out. Okay, this is where I'm going. Then I close the map and I begin to move again. But yeah, again, pre-alpha. That's how we could look at it, pre-alpha. So.
Yeah.
Oh, so you and I are exactly opposite on that. You like to stop and look, and me, I'm like, I want to keep going where I want to go, but then also look at the map for reference and then drop it back down.
I get so discombobulated. I just have to stop. I'm like, all right, stop, look. All right, cool, let's go.
There you go.
For me, I guess like moving while the map is open kind of like helps me draw my eye to where I am actually at in the map. Versus like, okay, where on this map is my little like person cursor? But that's also because playing across different games like Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft, like the way that they present your little person is definitely interesting. But yeah, real quick feedback for those of you listening, and as well as ourselves. Ashes says definitely drop that feedback on the forums for us if you didn't yet. They've been compiling feedback for the dev team, so if there's anything, I noticed one of you mentioned, let me scroll back up a little bit, it was just for art. I know you'd mentioned that the animations weren't exactly what you were expecting, so like definitely go there into ashesofcreation.com in the forums. If you don't have an account, go ahead and sign up. And they have all the information there for bug testing, etc., like reporting, and your feedback for it. Not to mention, on that same topic, they have a new live stream coming up next Thursday, I want to say, at 11 a.m. PDT, Thursday, August 29th. If you have any questions, they have a Q&A set up. Oh, no problem. They have a Q&A set up for ahead of time. Go ahead and submit your questions if you got them there, and they will go over them live in the live stream. There's also, I believe, a Q&A thread where they have a lot of questions people have asked already with the answers there, so be sure to check that out before submitting questions. They probably don't mean anything personal against it if they don't pick it, because they probably already answered it somewhere, so just keep an eye out on that part.
Yeah, if you watch any of their live streams, you see them blast through questions like crazy.
Yes.
And they pretty much cover everything. And if two questions are very similar, they'll sometimes answer it anyway. But typically, like, that's the only reason it's going to be skipped, is if they answered somebody else's question that was basically the same thing. But
yeah,
just as far as feedback goes, like these latest few hours of playing and just seeing the changes that they made to some things were actually pretty solid evidence that they listened to some feedback with like the UI and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The upgrades and animations were fantastic. They still got a little bit to go. Some of them were still a little bit jerky, but
Let me touch on that for a second, Virtek. The animation, right? You know,
Yes.
I'm in the BR and I'm focused on the enemy that's in front of me, and I'm shooting him with my longbow, right? And I just see a tentacle, literally like a purplish blue tentacle come across my screen, and I see myself taking damage from the left. And I'm like, oh crap, you know, I got this guy on my left as well. You know, I think the animation was amazing because I'm literally zoomed in with the longbow and I see the tentacle actually move. It was so smooth. It was amazing. I mean, I do have a pretty decent build set up here. And I am in California, so the ping was like amazing, but I think the animations was right on point. I'm sorry. I tip my hats to the animation team. I tip my hats to the engineering team especially, and not just us, right? But we even had like some Twitch stars, you know, streaming as well during the BR testing, and they had the same exact feedback. TSM Daquan was one of the streamers that actually gave awesome feedback to the stream, to the BR. Which to me, again, you're taking this guy that was a top 5 MMO player in World of Warcraft for PvP, and he's also, you know, one of those Twitch stars on Fortnite, and he is loving the BR, you know. So for me, that's another real thing that's showing like this game is real. This is it, like, and this is just the BR testing. This is not even the MMO yet. Like, I'm excited. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
super
don't be sorry for
excited.
your excitement.
Like, I'm ready to rock and roll with the MMO. I can't wait.
Rock and roll with the MMO. I like that.
yeah, and that's the point I keep trying to make to people, that they'll make a comment about this or that, and it's like, yeah, you have a point. That does need improved, but you can't let it sour you away from the entire thing, because it's just, I mean, this is like pre-testing for the pre-test of the alpha.
Right.
Exactly.
When it comes to the grand scheme of things, like
Exactly.
it's really like way back, and just between this testing phase and the last time we got in, there have been improvements. Is there still room? Absolutely. Of course it can get better. A lot of stuff can get better, but like you have to look at the incremental changes. And
Right.
that even brings up a post I found on the forums that actually brought up kind of that same kind of topic. It was actually something that was posted by Dread Knight, DREDNYTE, and their post actually said, "What's the point of apocalypse?" And they were kind of a little bit salty about how you get in there and most people just die really quick, so there's no real testing being done. But I think maybe that's also coming from a viewpoint maybe of those that haven't had a chance to really get in there or really figure out what the APOC is and how to succeed in it.
Right.
Or maybe haven't even played a BR specifically and don't know that if you want to experience and test how to play and how to do things, you need to look where other people are landing and go away from them.
Yeah.
Land away from them. Land somewhere far away so you can figure out what you're doing, figure out what the buttons do, look at exactly how the game functions, and then make your way towards the ever decreasing center of the storm.
Right.
Absolutely. And plus you get more time to look for that sandal shrine as well. So that's what I was doing.
We don't talk about that.
Don't talk about that.
But no, seriously, like, yeah, I wanted to get a lot of exploring, looking for that, but I only had a small time window, and I kind of bit the bullet on that and said, I guess I'm going to actually test the mechanics of the game and what's going on with it instead of look for a sandal. So I did very, very, very little looking for the sandal, a lot less than I wanted to. But yeah, I got to test some things. I got to see it progress through, and that actually, in the end, is going to make me more happy. So,
Good to hear. Speaking of, with what Jesper just mentioned, they said that they loved, like, the optimization was phenomenal, and that they couldn't believe that such leaps and bounds are being made towards this game. like a lot of us, this is the only MMO that they're waiting on, and perhaps the only game. But they're super impressed with the new logo, which, if you guys haven't seen, I actually have a video prepared to go ahead and show you guys off the new MMO release info video, and I will also have a link of this in the chat for you guys. But this is my first time watching it, so kind of like a mini reaction. Like the other two have already seen it.
Real-time reaction video.
Real-time reaction video. Here we go. But I'm pretty excited, and let's see, because I think I saw like a snippet, and I thought that I saw a new logo on there. Like they had I don't know. I saw something with a dragon. I don't know. Let's just look. Hopefully you guys can hear this. That's really pretty, actually. The sound though with this, I don't know if that's coming through, but I will definitely put the link in the Discord. Would make a sit tat. Oh wow. There's dinosaurs! Oh my gosh. I don't know why I didn't expect to see dinosaurs, but I didn't at all. Oh my gosh. Are the dinosaurs doing a castle siege? Is that what's happening? It's a dinosaur siege.
Yeah, for what it's worth, the sound of the video isn't coming through to them. Just the background music that we have.
Okay. I'll definitely put the link in the thing then. Oh, there is a dragon. Oh, that's awesome. Oh my gosh. What? Wow, that was actually really, really good. I'm impressed. Like, what? I feel like the game is gonna come out like next week based off of that. Like, that looks really good.
It does. It looks awesome.
For those of you who haven't seen it, here's the link. But wow, that was interesting. Okay, so the way I'm coming from is from a video game designer, college student perspective. We were taught a lot about like graphics and audio and like the impact. Like clearly you guys didn't get the same impact that I did because there was no audio that was coming through the stream. But it's just, wow, like the audio is really good. It like is dramatic. It was a very dramatic cinema looking type of thing. I like that they also display that as in-game. I'm kind of upset to hear that people are not enjoying the video, actually.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like you always have to with YouTube and such like that, you always have to keep in mind that the people who are more vocal on stuff like that are typically the people who want everything perfect, and they want it perfect now, and they want it free, and they want it the best it can possibly be, and because somebody else did it, it has to be able to be done, and why aren't you doing it? It's,
you know, and that's really sad, Virtek. It's sad that the reviews that you get typically online are typically the negative reviews. The responses you get, you know, online are typically the negative ones, and you don't hear too much of the good ones, the positive reviews, you know, the positive.
The raptors are too real, supposedly. Oh wow.
Raptors are too real.
I'm excited about the raptors. I have the raptor mount. There was a raptor mount, and I got it. You know, I got it, and I'm excited. Like when I seen that, I was like, I'm gonna be riding one of those. You know, not just myself.
Nice.
You know, riding through the forest on my raptor. Like,
oh my gosh.
I don't know.
Can we have a troll race? Because I feel like the troll race needs to be, or maybe it's the Tolnar. Wait, the Tolnar on the raptor. I don't know.
There you go. It'll kind of like be the that'll kind of be the WoW equivalent.
Yeah, there we go.
There.
Swift
But
claws,
yeah,
yeah.
like Tay said, it's one of those like you have to ask yourself like, do you even like things? Like, do you like anything? Do you just
Okay.
like things out there?
Do
At all?
you
Trolls
like
already exist. They were like a cosmetic last month. Yeah, that's fair. But
But yeah, I my first impressions when I watched the video was that everything looked really, really good. Like all
Yeah.
of that was in-game recording, apparently. Like the dragon, if that is in-game recording, that was pretty bloody intense
Dude,
for in-game
and-
recording.
if some of you have been with us, even back when we had our previous podcast with Reckless, one thing we talked about was like a dragon coming down and literally like spawning and destroying us because we've like messed with its area, and like seeing that dragon in game is really big because that's Vec. That's fair. For some reason I thought Vec was a different race than Troll. Sorry.
Yeah, they're I guess technically works.
Yeah.
But they basically look like the trolls.
Yeah. But like that dragon though, like, and like seeing the fire in the throat before it, like, because that's the only little clip I saw, and I thought that was like the beginning of something because I saw like the fire and then like the ashes emblem, so I thought that was like their new thing. Like it was just a tiny little, like, if you will, like one of those Instagram like small loops things. So I liked it. Is that dragon Nodes 1 dragon or from Nodes 1? Maybe, I don't know.
I think that was the cosmetic dragon that just, I think it was a couple months ago, but I think that's the cosmetic dragon, honestly.
If you remember it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, this opens the door for a lot of stuff. If you guys grab that link and you haven't watched it in full and just like, ooh, I didn't expect there to be dinosaurs though. What? Like, I didn't see the dinosaur mount. I only saw like that otter thing that like Steven had where somebody was like, I guess trying to hold on for dear life to the tail.
To the tail, yeah, with the weird, creepy face.
I was just like, but I mean, it makes sense.
Called the Swift Claw, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's what Tay said, Swift Claw.
Yeah, it's a tape put in there.
Because it's not gameplay, it's in-game. I want all types of creatures. That dragon is only the beginning. Just think about getting a monster coin, becoming the dragon, right? Everyone needs to be excited about monster coins. Yes, no, monster coins are exciting. I was just like, what's happening? Is this like a raptor castle siege that's happening here?
Not gonna lie, those being part of the rewards for the Kickstarter campaign, they definitely had sway on which tier I picked.
Yeah, definitely.
And how high I wanted to go up. They definitely added some value because just seeing what the mechanic is supposed to be and hearing what they described it as, now I'm even more excited.
Yeah. Actually, Z, now that you point that out, it probably is. It's a good point. I'm also glad I didn't ban you for posting a link, because, yeah. Very real bans on accident, sorry.
Yeah. It's alright, Z apparently has an exception. But no, see, that's a black lava dragon, though.
Oh, don't be sorry. I think I initially made it so that only our subscribers could do it, but it's just so that people don't just post things in during our video hangouts with you guys that are not cool.
Yeah, and throwing the wrong kind of links out there and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I was actually kind of happy of seeing the dragon in the video, and when it started to breathe fire, like you said, you saw it coming up through the throat. That'd be a neat thing in, say, a raid or a party when you go to fight a dragon, as like the clue that you're about to get toasted is when you start to see it bubble up in the throat.
Oh yeah, kind of like how in Final Fantasy, like you can tell if you watch the boss where the mechanics are gonna go.
And I think that would add difficulty to the game if you don't see, a round circle radius showing up under your feet, because that's a telltale sign, right? Get out the red. But if it was just literally the throat of the dragon lighting up, and then you're like, okay, well, don't stand in front of this thing, right?
Maybe don't stand there.
Time to duck and cover.
Right. I
like,
think it would be awesome.
Yeah, no, definitely. I could see that. Like, and I feel like and I'm relating a lot of stuff to Final Fantasy 14, but that's because that's kind of been my main game aside from like waiting for Ashes. but like I've been trying to do a lot more of the high-end reading tier stuff, and being perceptive and paying attention to what the boss is doing is a key part of not even like the high-end stuff, but the normal raid. They already have the savage version out, but like the normal raid, like one of them is like Leviathan, and you have to like focus on where the heads are, because if they're facing in the middle, you got to get off to the sides. If they're facing the side, you got to get in the middle. Otherwise, you're just boop, gone. Like
Insta kill.
Pretty much. And so like basically like having to pay attention to the mechanics, having to see what the boss is doing at all times, and making sure you're on top of like, okay, which way is it looking? What is it going to do next? Like those are important things. And I feel like it adds also to the immersion of it. Like this boss is interacting with me. If I need to pay attention, because this is a big boss. Like it will kill me if I don't pay attention. But yeah, I think people are gonna be upset if there are no telegraphed attacks. How dare you make me use my brain, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I want to do cleric something, so either oracle or something, but also because of Final Fantasy, I'm interested in testing out any of the support classes and just seeing how those act, especially with the way Ashes is going right now. It's an interesting thing for me. I want to see what they have to bring to the table as far as class kits, etc. But yeah, usually Virtek's the tank, I'm the healer. Like
Yeah, I know I'm definitely going to be going tank main. I know depending on how supporty it is, if it's almost pure support, like if they really make it highly focused on support, I want to try out the bard.
yeah.
But it has to be like, it's not just a DPS that throws out a buff every 10 seconds or something, or every 15 seconds, and that's just dumb. That's like every other game out there. If they're actually support centric, I want to do bard.
And you know, as a DPS, I would love to have a bard that was skilled, right? Like if bards actually had a mechanic to where, you know, like you said, it's not just throwing out a buff every 10 seconds, and they actually had to do some dynamic, you know, for example, putting themselves in the right position to be able to hit, you know, as many people within the raid group as possible. You know, I would love to see that happen as a DPS and watch my numbers just shoot up. And I'm like, thank you for being in the right place at the right time,
yes,
and throwing the right buffs, you know?
Yep.
Can't wait for it. I really can't wait.
This actually brings up another thing. We had a conversation a few weeks back about DPS meters. And with Final Fantasy, they don't really encourage using it, but they'd also kind of look the other way as long as you're not using it to bully other people. But one thing that I like using with like what Final Fantasy had is a good example of like a DPS of an actual DPS person and the DPS of a support person. And a lot of people, like, when you look at somebody's DPS, you're like, oh, you're doing low DPS, but you have to remember what class they're playing and what role they're playing. Are they the type that brings more of a support utility to the entire raid? Yes. Okay, take a percentage of everybody else's damage, add that to that support person. Because they're not having personal DPS, they're having raid-wide DPS. If you see the numbers going up more with having that specific class, then you're seeing that class's DPS being applied. And I feel like personally having no DPS meters while figuring out like which classes are better purely off of feel, like if Reckless is over there doing, I don't know what class you want to do, Reckless, I'm sorry.
Like, be the PvP class?
Honestly, I'm between fighter and rogue. So
okay.
kind of like weighing those two out. I need to see more on both classes before I decide on one.
That's fair.
Gonna be a
fair.
swashbuckler.
Yeah, right. A swashbuckler. But like Reckless is over there being a fighter and he's putting out some solid damage, and then I come along with a support person and like Reckless is seeing an increase and like things are dying faster, it seems like that's how you should be able to weigh a lot of this, you know, like not only is it the gear upgrades, because with Final Fantasy, like not even using an outside thing, there's actually a feature within the game where you can turn on like the boss's percentage. So you know how much percentage is left on the boss until they're dead. And I've seen literally just with gear upgrade going from a point, like a 9% in rage before like we like died to the boss to literally a 1% in rage. Like there was a big like jump there, and the 1% generally tended to be like, oh, people are dying too much, you know. If there was like a few less deaths, we would have passed this or something like that. And I like using that as a gauge more than DPS meters, because I mean, even in World of Warcraft, when I was using DPS meters, DPS isn't generally consistent unless you have a very specific class, because rotations are a thing, buffs are a thing. All of these things factor into raid-wide damage and raid-wide progression. And if even one of those things is not exactly the same as the last time, it changes the numbers a little bit.
And I have to kind of play devil's advocate a little bit, Chibi.
Go for it.
Coming from like a PvP perspective, right? Which is the toxic environment, right? We need that. Like we literally need that. Like when I'm in PvP, or if I'm in an arena, or a war zone or a battleground, I want that. Like that is a part of PvP for me. Like I want to see my numbers. I want to say, yo, look, all right. And it helps me as a player, right? So if I'm coming mid tier for DPS on the chart, you know, out of the 16 versus 16, I'm like, okay, well, I'm average. I need to step it up, right?
Right.
So those numbers play a part in my ambition to better myself. So I love seeing those numbers. Maybe for the support classes, have like a assist count. So if you had buffs on 3 players and all 3 of those players got, you know, a kill, you get 3 assists, right?
Yeah.
So now that's showing that, hey, I'm doing my part as a support. Check out my assists, kills. I'm doing my thing, you know, and maybe that can help, you know, kind of weigh out both worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. I mean, I know this conversation comes up quite often, but it's because it's such a hot point for everyone. But yeah, you got to take into account, I mean, there's CCs. So I mean, something like recount for a while was amazing, because you could look back and you could see how much damage somebody took if they were standing in fire, what they took it from. So if they, you know, if they were standing on fire, or if they were the target of a specific boss ability that was charged, they could not have avoided it. You have things like, I don't know, a raid leader who
I don't know, a raid
knows
leader?
everything going on and is the final call when it comes to strategies, and knows that this person is over there, as Z was saying, kiting this thing or interrupting that thing was their main focus. If they're doing damage and they need to interrupt, they stop, change target, interrupt, change back. That's their job, to stop mid-cast if need be, mid-move, mid-combo, destroy their combo, destroy their damage potential.
Right.
Your job is to interrupt that.
Right.
That's your sole job.
Right.
And if they're doing that and it's saving the entire everything, they could have 0 DPS and it wouldn't matter, because they did their specific job that saved a wipe or what have you.
And I think at that point, sorry to cut you off, Virtek. I think at that point you could add like objective points, right? So if we're talking like objective-based PvP or objective-based, you know, rating, there can be like objective points. So I'm not one to make video games, so I don't know exactly how that works, but I've seen it done in other video games where, just throwing one out there, you can even look at like first person shooters, right? And there's, you know, they have the 3 different flags that you have to capture, and as you go into the flag zone, you start to gain objective points, you know, just by being there. Something like that, maybe. If you're CCing someone, you start to gain objective points because you're CCing a person that's at the objective that you have to capture. So, for example, way back when Intrepid put up the arena videos where you see them knocking down the statues, right?
Yeah.
If you're there and you're CCing somebody that's destroying the statue, you should be able to get objective points for that, because you're stopping them from knocking the statue down.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And there's even like, for a pure support, it could literally be tallying up like how strong a buff you're putting out, and how much uptime you have on each one, like how much uptime you had on healing buffs, how much uptime you had on damage buffs, how much uptime you had on say a damage outgoing debuff on an enemy, stuff like that. You count how much support you're giving out. Like literally have everything that you can do in combat tracked, logged, categorized. And then if you don't know how to read a combat log, just do your job and you're fine.
Right.
You know how to read a combat log and you want to improve yourself, you know what to improve. If you're a raid leader and you need to know what is causing your group to fail, you know what to look for.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you have all the information you need to dig through it. And if you guys don't really care about succeeding, you care about having fun, then you turn your log off and just go out and do stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And just to touch like the toxic environment, if you're in part of a guild, right, and like when I first started playing Star Wars The Old Republic, I was a part of a guild and I was a complete noob, right? My numbers wasn't there, I wasn't in the right positions, I was getting killed left and right, and the GM started, and I left, right? There's nothing stopping you from leaving a group of people that are treating you mean. If you're getting treated poorly, don't stick around. There's other guilds that's going to be out there. This is going to be a brand new MMO to the world, right? And there's going to be so many guilds that you could go be a part of. Don't stick around for that toxic stuff,
Right.
Especially if it's bothering you.
And yeah, Jimmy Chan, narrator run speed buff makes you run fast enough you can dodge bullets. but yeah, I mean that's the thing is like I have walked away from cutting edge rating to go run with a group that just like to have more fun. And you know what? I think it took us another month and a half to kill the same bosses that people did a month and a half before.
Yeah.
But it was more fun.
Yeah.
You can sacrifice whatever you want to do to have more fun. Am I like bleeding edge raid worthy? Yeah. I can take any class and I can be in at least the 85 to 90th percentile on literally any class. Even my worst is going to be up there. No worries. But do I feel the need to do that all the time? No. Like some people can be toxic, but those are usually, and I say usually, the people who are trying to be in like the top 5%.
Yeah.
And you don't always need to be in there. So I mean, if someone's going to be like a dickbag with, excuse my language, with the DPS meters, then just skip them. Walk away from it. You don't need that kind of headache.
Yeah.
There's groups out there that'll just pick you up in a second. Just 1 second is all it'll take. They'll snap you right up because you like to have fun and you can do your job.
And sometimes I'm the complete opposite. Sometimes I want that. Sometimes I want someone trash talking to me, right? Sometimes I enjoy that because it's like, okay, you're pointing out things that I could get better at. And for me, that's just adding to the fire within me as a gamer. I'm like, okay, you know what? You're actually right. I could sit back and say, you know what? You're right. I should have CC'd that guy in that moment. I didn't, but I learned from it. It's a learning experience. Next time I'm gonna CC him so he doesn't siege our node. But
Yeah.
I'm sorry the node got destroyed, guys. But next time I'll CC. I
Yeah.
promise.
Oh yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do like some criticism myself. When I want to push hard, I do like the criticism because it's someone telling me like, "Hey, dude, you're messing up here. Go fix your stuff." They're not really saying it to be personal about it. If they are making a personal attack about it, those are the groups I walk away from.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
if they're just gonna say something like, "Dude, what are you doing? Are you a schmuck?" Like, how could you not see that coming?
And
If I can tell they're not ill-intentioned, then I welcome that.
And you could apply that to business as well, right? I'm sure Steven takes some of the negative feedback and actually analyzes it and says, you know what? These people are right. These group of people are right. They're coming with constructive criticism. Let's correct this. Let's move in this direction now. And you can see it, like you said earlier, Virtek, you could actually see the improvement in certain areas where we, the community, are pointing out. And I love that. I love that about Intrepid Studios.
Yeah, my favorite thing about like the Ashes community is exactly what all of us are saying right now. There's a diverse range group of player types, including the people that just want to chill and have fun and they're not even like trying to push. There's the medium to hardcore pushers, then there's the super hardcore pushers. Like there's so many different guilds out there right now for every type of player. And some of these guilds are a mesh of different things, from easy to hardcore. They got their hardcore groups that are always going to be pushing. I feel like I'll probably be on the top end. I'll be one of those people constantly trying to push. But that's because I want to learn things, and like I have an innate desire to want to teach other people mechanics. Like I want to push, I want to struggle, I want to get it down. And then that way when it comes time for like a good number of the guild to join, then I can be there and be like, okay, look out for this, look out for this, look out for that, you know, at this time move over here, etc. And I feel like that's an important part. It looks at the guild recruitment thread, right? But fashion queen Tay. But yeah, basically, like at the end of the day, just to kind of like catch up on the conversation, because I was quiet for a bit there. At the end of the day, I like the idea of DPS logs for the exact same reason. Judging myself against others, seeing how I'm doing, and sparking that little bit of like I can do better. And that's what I enjoy about the FF logs, is seeing as a dancer, what am I doing? Okay, and how often am I using this? Okay, and then what is like a good top percentage of the dancers using when and how often, etc. And what can I stop using that I'm using currently that nobody else is really using to increase the DPS output that I'm giving everybody else. And like those little tweaks definitely help a lot. And I end up feeling better because I've felt like I've now accomplished by giving more to the raids, etc. But yeah, as Virtek already answered for Jonathan, the server's not open right now, but keep an eye. But yes, praise the sun. And thank you if you're too lazy. But see, I feel like I have been a raid leader before. I've been a part of a guild before where like I went in with a lot of the top tier people and I just whack things. Yeah, but I help direct your whacking to better timed whackings. And that's what I enjoy. I enjoy being able to make your life easier by me doing all the struggling and figuring out all the things and just dumbing it down and be like, you whack it now. Okay, wait, run. Okay, now whack it again. Like
run away.
Now just whack it really hard as fast as you can. Just go. Like, you know, for those DPS checks. But yeah, like it's just, you know, at the end of the day, like as much as I put in a lot of hardcore, I also want to make sure that your time raiding with me is still enjoyable. You're still having fun at the end of the day. Like that still matters to me. Whether or not you're doing great numbers, I don't care. But the fact that you've got the mechanics down, the fact that you're getting out of stuff, like I love it. Like you know, aw, thank you, Jamie-chan. You're so sweet.
And raid leaders are good. Raid leaders, I should say, are a prized possession because there's a kind of a fine line with very little gray area between not examining what your guild is doing well in a raid, what they're doing bad, and then becoming the more dots guy.
Yeah, more dots.
Many whelps, handle it. There's not a whole lot of gray area between being really good and being, dear God, somebody muzzle that fool.
Z has some resentment going on over here. Yeah, you don't moan at your party healer, palette healer. Because it leads to 11 years of ignore. Oh gosh.
That cold shoulder though. Oh man. Being locked out.
Oof. Okay, so moving on to more romantic things. Our fan feature Friday, whatever thing this week is by the Mean Bunny. It's about an Empyrean cleric and a Tolnar bard. It's very cute. It is up on their up on Ash's tweet at the moment. Let me copy this and paste it for you. I thought this was very, very cute. Yes, definitely. I can like imagine Mackie being the bribe my raid. Wait, OMG, you're so right. GD I've been trying to bribe my raid leader from WoW to AOC. No luck as of yet. Just wait till we get like Castle Sieges, you know. But yeah, no, I enjoy seeing the art that everybody throws out there, and this one's really cute. Like, I sense a little bit of flirtation. I feel like if the bard was a tank and if it wasn't a Tolnar but a Vec, that would be Damien and I right there, because I'm the elven cleric. So it's very cute. I like it.
Yeah, for some reason, when I saw the Tolnar, I just thought of Fushi in green face.
Oh my god, yes.
Fushi in green face right there.
Yes. I see that definitely.
Yeah, it's really good artwork. Honestly, it really is.
So,
And those things are fun to look at, you know, especially during the downtimes that we've had, you know, going to the community and looking at the different things that we're creating, you know, theory crafting,
yeah.
stuff. It's very enjoyable.
Yeah, definitely. And I know, like, okay, no lie, the first thing I did when I got into the game was, okay, how do I change over to a female character? Where's the buttons for that? And I figured it out. But yeah, thigh high boots. You gotta protect those thigh highs, you know. Gotta just there's a lot you gotta protect there. A little extra protection from the leather. I mean, it's necessary. It's real. It helps with barding.
I'm sure.
But yeah, aside from that, just to recap for those of you that are joined us, by the way, I would just like to point out thank you so much to Riacon and Jonathan and Just for Art. Like, thank you guys for joining us. I haven't seen your names around before. I think I've seen Riacon once, but the other ones I haven't seen. And Jemmy, Z, Tay, Ashes, thank you Ashes for joining us today. It was really happy to see you guys again, and we're gonna definitely be back next week. But just to remind you, next week on Thursday is the live stream, 11 a.m. PDT Thursday, and Friday we will definitely be going over all the info, and then when we get back from the East Coast on Friday the 13th, ooh, I don't know, maybe we'll do something silly for that, but maybe I'll get like elf ears and I'll be like, look guys, I'm an high elf.
I'm definitely tuning in for the Friday the 13th. Sure.
But
Take it.
yeah.
Z, what do you mean didn't show Sandalia? Did somebody find it? Don't tell me somebody found it.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Happy to be here. Oh, thank you, Jemmy Chan. We're happy to have you. Yeah, I didn't see if anybody found Sandalia. Oh, wow, somebody did find it.
What? No.
Oh.
Someone found it? Oh, I didn't check either. No way.
Oh, that makes me so sad.
It was awesome. Where do we find this? Real quick, we can't end this until everybody sees.
Yeah.
Where do we find this?
My heart hurts.
Pin
My heart.
something. Oh no. Oh boy.
My dreams are shattered.
Yeah, I know, right? Sandalia.
I'll know how I missed that.
Finstad found Sandalia.
All right, let's get this.
Yeah,
But
I'm
while
scouring.
We're digging this up. Theater Elf, you said something earlier about did anybody polymorph behind the waterfall? What's that all about? What's going on there?
Yeah, I heard something about that. I heard that they said specifically do not polymorph under the waterfall. So I don't know why, but
I guess it's one of those things like better to not break the game ? Oh, I found sandal weapon skin ? Oh my god, Fushi posted a video of someone literally slapping somebody else with what looks like a sandal. Can you just imagine running into somebody, taking your sandal off and like doing a whole beating?
Oh, check that out.
It's
It
under
was in there.
AOC APOC discussion. Under the Ashes community.
Maybe that was a hidden tip on how to find Sandalia.
Oh yeah, Shimi didn't get like an in-game weapon skin for the Mace 1 Scepter Sword. Rusty Axe could have just been all sandal. Yeah. That's funny.
Womp womp.
My grandma can imagine, pretty sure. Oh yeah. I've heard of those stories. Does not sound fun.
Oi, oi, oi.
There's a better pick too. Okay, well I'll look for that, and next time we'll definitely let you guys see some. She knows how it is, how it's like to slap someone with a sandal. Oh boy. When I did polymorph, I turned into a vendor wagon inside the house. Oh nice. Yeah, I turned into something super obvious one of the streams way back, the last time they had the testing happening. It was really unhelpful. I think I was like a wagon or something on top of a rock.
Yeah.
On like a ledge.
Yeah, it seems like there's maybe not any context clues for the spell to pick up on to choose what you transform into.
Yeah.
You could be like a campfire inside a living room of a house or something.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. I actually saw that you just posted that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nice photo of it. That's really cool. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. Reckless, thank you for being on. As always, enjoyable having you.
Thank you guys for having me.
Anytime. It's always good to get like a PvP perspective, you know?
Yeah, I could be a little toxic, though. I'm sorry.
Oh, you know, toxicity.
We want those numbers. We want to trash talk. You know, that's our world. You know, our domain.
I mean, on the other half of that, like, getting good numbers is something to be proud of. You know, like if you're good at what you do, why not show pride? You know. But
screenshots posted on the forums.
it's just when you're like down talking to other people, like, oh, you're a piece of trash, blah 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 blah. I'm like, whoa. I'm still learning. Calm down. I didn't even get to hit you because I was too busy having an anxiety attack because you're like whirlwinding around me. That is me though. No, it's legit. That is me. I get into APOC and I'm like, oh my god, somebody click, and I'm just like dead in like 2 seconds. It just.
And you know that's where you go out, like when the MMO comes out, you find somebody that PvPs to protect your caravan.
Reckless.
You're doing your caravan from pretty much, right?
I'm like, got you.
50 gold.
I'm a pocket healer. You're a pocket PvPer. We got this.
You know, some of, like in Star Wars: The Old Republic, some of the best PvP healers were top raid PvP healers, you know, and
that's because they have the top raid gear to support their lives.
Well, no, there's actually 2 completely different gear sets for PvP and Star Wars.
PvP is a lot more fast-paced and quick target switching and prioritization that you have to do, and you can't memorize. You just have to know who's coming, who's doing what, and prioritize on the instant on what you need.
That's fair.
But seriously, the raid healers would come into PvP and do just fine. Like, they would do amazing.
Nice. Yeah, I think maybe I got a taste of PvP through like Final Fantasy, but not as a healer, and I enjoyed it so much more because people weren't just targeting me. But anyway, I digress. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll be back next week. We were doing every other week, but between the live stream next week as well as us leaving the following week, it just works out really well. So we'll see you next Friday, 5 p.m. PST. Fingers crossed we figure out this breaker situation so that like 5 minutes before we're supposed to go live, all of the entire room just shuts down.
Doesn't crash out again like it did.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you again, and I hope to see you guys next. And I am so sorry I've fallen behind on putting the videos up. That'll be my personal like thing this week, is to put all the videos up onto the YouTubes. Ugh. But yeah, definitely we'll have this up and edited soon. So thank you guys so much. Ashes love, and
Later.
See you guys soon.
Thank you all for your time. Catch you around next week. Adios.
Adios.